For anybody that doesn't actually know me, my name is Stuart Miller. I work for Scottish Development International. I provide export advice, international advice to companies based in the Highlands and Islands, but also in Ayrshire, Dumfries and Galloway. Now, what I want to run through today is just a few slides. I know it's been quite a heavy subject that you've listened to, but what I want to do is just follow up what the Scottish approach has been and how we can actually move forward. So what I will actually do is I'll just see if you can see that. Okay, so the important thing for us anyway is to take this away. There's a specific website set up for Scottish companies, prepareforbrexit.scot. It's a multi-agency approach from the whole of Scotland. It includes the Institute of Export and International Trade, Scottish Enterprise, Highlands and Islands Enterprise, the Commerce, etc., etc. So everybody's involved in this. So really what we've been doing is been putting forward a lot of information for companies because we do want you to plan for Brexit, obviously. There's still not enough companies doing it. I've probably advised about 20 companies in the last year, which is not a lot actually. I was expecting that to be much, much bigger, but I think that will grow exponentially. So what we actually have here is two types of support. There's online support, which I'm going to run through very, very quickly on this website. And we've also got face-to-face support. After today or on today, you're welcome for anybody to have one-to-ones with either myself or Kevin. Is that right? Yeah, we can have one-to-ones. If you can't make it, if you've had enough today, I've got a sheet there that I'll give you to, so please take it away, fill it out. In fact, fill it out now and leave it with me. And what I can do is I can phone you up after today and we can do it over the phone over a convenient time. There is a number of checkpoints that Kevin went through, about 10 checkpoints that we do as well. So on the online, we actually have the self-assessment tool. I'm just going to go into that shortly. We have a programme of events which we do, which are like today. We're delivering this all over Scotland. These courses, how long have you been doing these for now? About a year?
Yes.
I mean, I suppose I'm Mr. Brexit myself. I think this is my 6th Brexit event I've been on, but every time it's an update for me as well. So I've actually sat and did this subject for a whole day, so you can imagine what I was like after a whole day of this. It was pretty tough, actually. So I'll give you some examples of possible support. I mean, really what we're trying to do is provide advisory support here for you, but there is some instances where there will be potentially some grant assistance available. Now, if I take you through some examples, today really we're talking about Brexit impact scenario planning. So really what I would do is I would sit down on a one-to-one basis with you if you wish, or you can do it in the self-assessment tool, and we will go through the issues and identify what we think together are the issues. If you require, a specialist consultancy help, Scottish Development International does have a team of experts that we can assign for up to a day, which at no cost to a company. But if you're a much larger company and there's bigger issues going on, and I'm really talking about the very large companies here, there will be a potential, of grant availability, but I would discuss that on a one-to-one basis with you all. So I'll give you one example. I was with a company in Ayrshire just the other day there. They actually supply the aviation sector globally. They're based in Ayrshire. Now in the UK, the aviation supply sector it's about a third is all based in the UK. But with this Brexit scenario, what happens is they've got accreditation from the European Union to supply these big airlines. And basically this company, what happened is one of their customers, Air France, said to this company in Ayrshire, what are you going to do? When Brexit happens, how are you going to be able to supply me? So for the last 9 months, this company has been looking at various options. One of them was setting up a base in Holland. But to be honest, he's got a family, he's got a business in Ayrshire, doesn't really want to move it. So what's actually happened, we sat down and the European Union has agreed that they will actually put forward an accreditation scheme for companies that are countries that are going to be out with the European Union. So basically it's a Norway effect, etc. So this company is now having to spend about £5,000 on accreditation scheme. Now if we decide to stay in the European Union, they've wasted that money, but they have to go ahead and do it because their clients want that assurance that we'll continue to deal with them. So that was one practical one. We've obviously mentioned they're reviewing and optimising transport and logistics arrangements. I've got quite a lot of clients that are obviously worried that send things by road and sea. There's a lot of scare stories coming out, about Dover, Calais, etc. So we've been looking at different routes. Supply chain risk and opportunities has obviously been covered. And Kevin made a very good point. If you're dealing with people in the supply chain, make sure you look further than them. You might think you're not sourcing anything from outside the EU. You might be buying something from England, but they might be sourcing it from China. So you need to understand the complete supply chain that you're dealing with and the effects it would have. We've mentioned tariffs as well and extra documentation and financing as well. So what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is I'm just going to spend a little time. I'm going to go back to a website and I'm just going to spend 5 minutes running through it because I think you'll find some very good benefit from it. So if you go into the Brexit website after today, what you'll actually see a thing there that says start planning. So just very simple, I'm just going to press in here, start planning. And what you really have there is a number of questions. I've been through it a few times. I've set up, dummy companies just to make sure it works. It really only takes a matter of minutes. So what I'll do is I'll start going through it for you. So it just asks you a number of straight questions about Brexit to do with your own business, and it's straight yes, no, or not applicable. So have you appointed a member of your team to oversee your response to Brexit? So is there somebody within the company like today that's going to take this forward? Let's assume because you're here today, that's a yes. Have you already developed a plan to help you for your effects? Let's assume no because you're here today as well, so I'll put no there. Have you assessed the implications of Brexit for your current business model? I will say no again, that's why we're just starting out the process. And so on. There's about 20, 30 questions like that, but what it'll actually do is it'll actually provide you with a report after it, and it's actually extremely helpful. And if you can actually do that, it will help you plan for Brexit going forward. And really, as I said today, if you want some one-to-ones after this, please come forward. And if you can't do it today, if you've had enough or you have to rush off back to your business, I've got some forms here, if you don't mind filling them out, and we will contact you after today. So as I said, there is free advice available to help you plan for this Brexit. And as we've said today, it's now heading for a hard Brexit, so we have to look at the worst case scenario. And for the very large companies that require more help, we can look at actually grant assistance to bring someone in to help you.